Alrighty guys, welcome back to the Combustion Gamer YouTube channel, NASCAR Heat 5 for some paint schemes. Actually, for a paint scheme. So anyways, it's Throwback Weekend for Darlington, and obviously, if you have been paying attention to the Combustion guys, we're riding aboard Thad Moffitt's number 46 truck, which is a throwback to Bobby Hamilton. So, what we're going to do is we're going to try and make the throwback paint scheme of Thad Moffitt and put it onto this truck. We're going to see what we can do. It's going to be a little bit tricky, and it's not going to look perfect, but we're going to try and get as close as we can. So, let's get started. So luckily, we got the combustion guys on the rear deck lid, along with a bunch of other people that were able to order their different packages and stuff, so that's pretty neat. But I also was able to get the gamer on the back as well, so I'm going to have some cool Thad Moffitt diecasts coming later on this year, so that's going to be pretty cool. So, let's start off by getting us the number 46 number here. We'll get this made right there. Also going to get my picture back up so I can actually see what I'm doing. And let's see what number 46 is going to look the best. That one looks pretty good. None of those look good. That one does not look good. That one's not too bad. That one's not too bad. That one's not too bad. I think it's going to be... I gotta go with this one, unfortunately, just because of the numbers being slanted. That looks a little bit more like what it actually looks like. So, now we're going to go into custom colors here, and we're going to go to a reddish orange color here. We're going to find out what we got, and go a little bit darker. Right about there, that looks good. And then we got like some dark blue, so we're going to go up to blue here. Kind of a faded blue, so we're going to go right with there and go... I'm going to go with the top one. Not looking quite right. There we go, that looks better. So it's not quite as thick as it should be, but it'll work. Also, I think this paint scheme is gloss, but I'm not totally sure on that. Don't quote me on it. Then we're going to go to black wheels, so we got that taken care of, so all of that is now done. So now we need to look at base paint. So our base paint color here is going to be the gray. Actually, it's more of a chrome, but you get the picture. So we're going to go with this right here is what we could go with, but that looks a little bit off, so we're going to go into custom, and we're going to lighten it up just a little bit, so right about there should be good. Now, let's go to our custom colors here for our base color of blue. That's going to be right down here, so this is going to be where it gets a little bit tricky, trying to replicate that petty blue, and that's not too bad, actually. It looks decent. So, what you might notice is we don't have a stripe on top, and I'll show you what we got going on with that here in just a second. Now we need to get our little lines down here to a orange. So let's find ourselves an orange that will hopefully look orange. Because that is the problem with this game, is that you don't have oranges that actually look orange. It's kind of tricky. Zoom in. That's about as orange as we're going to get there. That, actually no, that looks pretty good. Hold on. We'll go to the base colors here. Because this orange actually didn't look too bad. That didn't look too bad either, but it's not quite that neon. So that kind of works. It's not perfect. So there it is with the lighter orange. And that looks a little bit too golf color to me. Is a bit of my problem. So let me go to... back to over here. We'll go with that right there. Can we lighten it? That's going to make it go yellow. Yeah, it's just kind of tricky, honestly, with this, to just be able to get the right orange that you need. Because it's kind of that, it's very close to neon orange, but it's also got a little bit of that, a little added shade of red to it. So that's where it's really, really tricky here. So let's go with this orange right there, and we'll just leave it at that, because that's giving me the best vibe, honestly. Is that orange right there. Looks like we can kind of take our blue one shade darker. No, I think that shade up there is fine. That looks good. So what we know is NASCAR Heat 5 limits you greatly on what you can do just in the editor. So what we would have to do is switch all the way up to here. And this would get us that stripe that we're missing on the side, but there it is. So basically just use your imagination is what we ultimately have to do, because obviously that we're not going to be able to see very much of, so we got to switch it to this right here so it's on the side of the truck. But you know how this works. We got to get that stripe on the front, and the only way to do that is if we switch paint schemes. What we could do though is we could go with the flame job, and that would get us a similar color scheme kind of, but that just really, that's pushing it a bit. So that would be an option, but that's a bit of a stretch for me. So the best way is just to imagine the stripe down the middle and the on the roof, and just have this on the bottom, because that's the best look that you're gonna get trying to get to that. So anyways, there we go. Now we got to do sponsors. Now obviously we got the big giant Petty 75 anniversary logo right on the deck lid, or not on the deck lid, on the hood. So we got to figure that out. So the best big logo is the NASCAR Heat Pro League. That gets you a little bit of that light blue color, so that's obviously an option. Off-axis paint is just obnoxious on this paint scheme. You got that sponsor, We Build Champions. You got that. That guy's some blue, but it's a big logo. You could do that, but there's also the Petty in white. So you kind of have to figure out what paint scheme you could do. Could do Valvoline. That seems like a stretch. Ream, a bit of a stretch. You don't really have too many logos that can really make this paint scheme what you're looking for. So I think honestly the best option is to go with the NASCAR Pro League, just because that's going to get you that blue color of the logo onto the hood. So I think that's going to be your best option. Now down here on the side, as I'm looking at this here, I see a few different sponsors. So what we can do, I see a bunch of like white block sponsors. So what we can do then is put Procore right there, and it fits perfectly into that stripe. It looks great. Alrighty, sweet. Now back here, obviously, we have the Petty logo stretching all the way from the front of the tire to the rear of the deck lid. But what we're going to end up having to do is, obviously, we can't get that to stretch, so the NASCAR Heat Pro League has to go right there. So that's going to be the best bet to be able to do. Let's see here. So obviously we got a bunch of names on the back of the deck lid. Also, this deck lid's also painted in black, so you can actually see the names and stuff in white. So that's kind of cool. So our best bet to be able to replicate that is to get that NASCAR Heat Pro League to help the paint scheme kind of tie itself in, but also we get a bit of black there on the deck lid. Now I haven't seen a good shot of what's actually on the very rear of this truck. So let me check out Faction 86 here real quick and see if they got a picture of what's on the rear of this truck here. Well, they got a few different sponsors back there. They have like 3 different sponsors on the rear of this truck. So obviously, for whatever reason, the sponsor is relegated to this side right over here. So let me see what we can do with that. Because what we can do is, since Procore is already on here, we'll just add them into the side right here. Once they get to them. There they are. Oh, and look at that. It fits perfectly right underneath the Chevrolet logo. That looks good. So there we go. That's about as close as we can get. I'm going to look at a few other options at this truck here. It's almost a bit of an orange, a little bit more of an orange on the number here. So let me check this out. Let's go up 1 and darken it. Nope, that's really, that is the best option right there to get the best look for that 46. So there is Thad Moffitt's best take on the paint scheme that I can do. There is a few options that we could take, but that's going to be about the best that we can do in NASCAR Heat 5 anyways for you guys to be able to do it. So that's about the best that I can do in this editor. So anyways, looks pretty good. It actually ties together pretty well. I like it. Obviously, wish there was a little bit more customization that we could do, especially with that stripe not being there, but it does work. So Nice. Alrighty guys, so here we go. We got the truck at Darlington. It doesn't look too bad in the light. The orange actually came out really good. It looks so weird in the editor, just the shading looks off. But honestly, the shades of the colors really came out really good once you get it into the light. It looks good. It really turned out really good. Honestly, obviously you got the missing stripes and logos and the blacked out deck lid with all the names, but you get the picture. And it looks really good, so I do like it. It looks nice. So take it around Darlington here real quick. Truck sounds really good. Always like the sounds in this game, and that truck feels very nice as well. Go ahead and get a little bit closer here. Taking the Faction 46 truck for a ride around Darlington. NASCAR heat on board, but celebrating 75 years of petty in motorsports. Definitely cool, and I'm excited to be able to get my diecast and also to hopefully see where this truck finishes in the race, because got the gamer riding aboard, so it's going to be fun. Thought about getting the Combustion Farmer put on there as well, but I ended up running out of time for doing that. So if you guys are also thinking about it, there are diecasts still available, so if you head on over to, I'll link the description down below. But if you check out the description, you can potentially buy a 1/64 or 1/24 scale with the TheCombustionGamer on there, which would be really neat. So definitely like that. So there we go, qualifying lap, not that great, but not too bad. So that's pretty cool. Truck looks good. I like it. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and hopefully you liked that paint scheme. It turned out pretty good. Once we got into the actual color of the game, it looked really good, so definitely like how it turned out. But definitely make sure to tune in to the Darlington Throwback truck race and all the throwback races this weekend, as they should be a lot of fun. But definitely cheer on Thad Moffitt this weekend and help celebrate 75 years of petty in motorsports, because that is just a really cool stat. So anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you guys here next time. Bye-bye!